going? This is a backpacking YouTube channel, and this video is about the medium curve 30. I've got an SUL version of it here in Hike-a-delic DCF with no front pocket and no side pockets. To celebrate this pack, I just went up to the Sierras on 3 separate trips. With this size of the curve, the medium 30, I found that I was able to frame out the pack from the inside out. Now this might seem elementary to some, but obviously if I take my winter bag, the sleeping bag, and I put it horizontally across the bottom of the pack, it frames out the bottom of the pack from the inside. So if I just stick it in here, and then turn it sideways and kind of just punch it with my fist, okay, and just kind of force it down in there. You can see how that just fits perfectly. What I realized is that the reason the winter bag frames out the bottom of the curve 30 so well is because it just utilizes one big stuff sack. And so what I realized I could do is that I could just create a second really big stuff sack with my food bag. So instead of just putting my food in here, I put the cozy for the food, plus I put, you know, a puffy and my clothes and whatnot all in here together, the air pad, etc. And then when I shove this down in here, it frames out the center, the torso of the pack. So if I just stick this in here like this, okay. All right, it slides right in, and then just stuff it down, okay. And now that's got the pack framed out almost all the way to the top, okay. Now if I just take my ditty bag and my stove system, stick them in the top, all right, what I found I could do is I could take this water bottle, the core, which is symmetrical, it's the same shape on both sides, it's kind of curved in the middle. If I unscrew it a little and make it a little bit squishy, I can shove it in here. Okay, and that frames out the shoulders of the pack. Then just roll it down, and I clip it underneath the carrying strap. All right, and now the pack is completely framed out from top to bottom. If I want to see the curve, this particular model, the medium 30, it does have a curve. There's a curve here. If I want to actually be able to see that, all I need to do is just sit on it, you know, and kind of make it flat, and you'll start to see the gear will settle inside of the pack, and you'll start to see that. By framing out the pack from the inside out with this water bottle, etc., I put some little holes in my DCF because I was bushwhacking and I was going underneath some birch trees, and the birch bark was really dry because it's October, and the plastic water bottle rubbed against the bark on the birch tree hard enough that it put some little holes in the DCF. I've never done that before. This is the first time I've ever put holes in my DCF, but it did happen. I also put the bot into the bottom of the Lycra pocket, and as you can see, there's a hole, okay? So yeah, the Lycra pocket is good. But when you put your pack down to get into the main pocket, it rubs against the pebbles on the ground. And so if you put a titanium pot in here, the titanium doesn't have enough give, it doesn't have enough cushion, and it rubs the Lycra against the pebbles on the ground too hard. Also, you know, it's awesome that a bot can fit in here, but when you stretch the Lycra out to its maximum capacity, the chances for putting holes in it is statistically much greater. There's a bigger chance of probability that you're gonna put holes in the Lycra if you have it completely stretched out. It really is for food, or maybe a puffy, trash. It really isn't for titanium pots. And that was my original concept, was I was gonna carry like a cook system down here. But you really want to stick with just soft objects when you put them into your bottom pocket. The pebbles on the ground can put holes in the Lycra. And the holes that I put in the DCF are very small. It kind of just looks like a bobcat just stuck its fingernails through the DCF. And those holes are not spreading, they're tiny. But the holes in the Lycra are not the same way. You know, once the Lycra gets holes in it, those holes can spread. They can kind of start to tear more and more. So you want to try and prevent putting holes in the Lycra. As far as the shoulder straps, the comfort of the shoulder straps is no issue. I have a large 35 and this medium 30. The first day out with the medium 30, the shoulder straps felt kind of dialed in and I could kind of feel them clamping onto my shoulders. But the second day out, the EVA foam that's inside of the shoulder straps molded to my shoulders, and so the comfort was absolutely no issue. I really don't feel the shoulder straps on my shoulders at all, regardless if I'm using the large or the medium. The large 35 is obviously more plush and it's got more space on the back panel for a sit pad, and the medium is just literally a little bit smaller. But as far as the comfort, there is no difference between the large and the medium as far as comfort. So what I would say is that for a grown man, the small, medium, or large will all work. If you're going to be doing an activity like mountain biking, if you're going to be bike packing and you don't want wiggle on your backpack, you don't really want to wear a hip belt because the hip belt might be too constrictive. You're going to be on your bicycle. You want to carry some gear in a waterproof pack, but you don't want the pack to wiggle around. You might want to go with a small, because the EVA foam on the small shoulder pads will mold to your shoulders and it'll be comfortable. And there literally will just be less wiggle because the shoulder straps are smaller. Now, as far as whether or not the pack is going to fit, a lot of that is determined by this bottom webbing right here. The issue is just that if this bottom webbing is long enough, the shoulder straps will fit. If this bottom webbing is cut short, then that prevents the pack from fitting if you go too small. There are some pack companies out there who do cut this webbing short, but LiteAF is just, they give you ample webbing at the bottom so that you could go with a small, medium, or large. It doesn't really make a difference. buddies up here. It's pretty good.